Welcome to the Monumental Monetization Masterclass. I'm Dee Collins, the creator of Success Creation Academy, Inc., and I've gathered 8 world-class mentors to provide you with information that can lead to a business transformation for message magnification, mission maximization, and monumental monetization. Please stay until the end of the talk for information on how to receive your free gift for attending, as well as how you can gain access to the replay of this event. Put all distractions aside because you are not going to want to miss one morsel of this tasty talk. I abbreviate the name of the summit as MMM because the information in it is good. Our next speaker is Eileen Galbraith, that credit girl or the credit gal. Actually, she is the founder of Credit Know-How LLC, and she's going to be speaking to us today on savvy secrets to creating business credit. The information she has is absolutely incredible. It will show you the ins and outs, the difference between business credit and personal credit, and so many other things that I can't even think of. So let's just get to it. And thank you so much, Eileen, for being with us today.
Hello, Dee, and hello, everyone. Thank you so much for having me here today.
Well, we are super excited about some of the information that you are going to share with us. This is the Monumental Monetization Masterclass, and a very important part of people being able to make money is being able to get money and know how to build business credit. But before we get into the actual interview, can you just tell us a little bit about yourself?
Sure. So I bill myself as a business credit and finance coach. So entrepreneurs usually hire me to help them maximize their capital because unfortunately, most of us have been turning over couch cushions to invest in our business. And unknowingly, we're putting our families, our personal credit, and our growth as a business at risk. So I help position you to get the money that you need, to protect your assets and your family, and to help you to be able to actually grow your business to be the genius that you are.
That is super exciting. I know that I've tried many times in the past to, establish business credit, and I just couldn't get it together because I didn't know what to do and I didn't have all the pieces to the puzzle. And before I go on into our first question, I just wanted to make sure that I say welcome to everybody. Thank you so much for tuning in. You are going to want to get a pen and a notepad. You are going to want to stay glued to the screen because the information that Eileen is getting ready to share with you is absolutely incredible, and it can benefit your business and be the difference between your greatest success. So we're going to just get right into it. And so let's just start with the basics. What's the difference between business credit and personal credit?
So everybody knows that if they want to go out and buy a home or a car, or nowadays it's even getting a cell phone or utilities for your home, you need to have really good personal credit. And in the business world, it's the same thing. Walmart does not go out and use personal credit to run their business. They have business credit cards or corporate accounts. So the biggest difference there is that it's so important to be able to understand what's going on in your personal side and why you want to have the business credit, because you're going to put your family at risk if you don't. And so many people, so many people don't even know as entrepreneurs that business credit even exists. So we want to understand the foundations of your personal credit and the difference between the personal and the business. And the biggest difference is that when you establish credit in the name of your business entity, and I'll talk about that in a moment because that's a very important part of it, you're protecting your family now. If anything were to happen to your business, if you were to be sued, anything, they cannot touch your personal assets now. That's the biggest distinction. You want to separate the two.
Okay, so is that why it's important to separate it?
That's the biggest reason. There's actually several components to that. The biggest reason is you need to protect your family. You need to protect your personal credit, and you need to protect your assets that you already own.
Absolutely, that's smart business.
That's the most important part.
So how can I, build my business credit if I have been using my personal credit to run my business?
That is a great question, and that's the biggest question I get from everybody. So I was working with a very high-end coach recently, who's been in business for more than 10 years, and she has told me that she always uses her personal credit cards to invest in her business because she turns around at every month, the end of every month, and pays them off in full, which is a very good thing to do when you have your personal credit. However, the two biggest components that she was missing out on was one, if, like I just said, if anything happens to her business, her personal world gets crushed.
Mm-hmm.
The second biggest thing is there are so many more tax benefits. And we all know as business owners, that's one of the first things we look at is the tax benefits to owning a business. If you're not incorporated and you're a sole proprietor, you're not going to get the same tax benefits. So that's the second biggest reason why you want to establish business credit in the name of the business. And the only way you can do that is you have to have a business entity. You have to be incorporated in some way. 86% of entrepreneurs are still sole proprietors. I'm here to help change that.
Oh, great. We need somebody to help change that. And, you know, I even recently learned that depending on how you have your business entity set up, the structure of it, you can even reduce the chances of you being audited. So you need to know, you know, how to have it set up and have it set up properly. So what do you think are the biggest mistakes that people make when it comes to establishing business credit?
So the first thing is they're a sole proprietor, like we just talked about. They don't have their business entity set up. It is so easy to go on and get your business incorporated. Yes, there are people that can do it online for you. You can figure all of that on yourself, or you can hire those people to help you do it. There are tax CPA accountants out there that will help you get that done also. So that's the biggest mistake, is we don't get our business as a business. You know, it's okay if you're going to do things as a hobby, but when you start servicing people, you need to make sure that you're doing that from a business entity.
Right. So how can we expect people to take us seriously as business professionals if we don't take our business seriously?
Exactly.
And when you take your business seriously, it means that you do these things correctly. You need to have it set up properly. You need to be able to build that business credit and, you know, have that separate from your personal credit. So let me see. So what are some easy ways to build business credit? Because I don't even know, like, what should I do?
Well, before I answer that, the other thing is we want to make sure that we're protecting our families, right? What are the reasons? You have to go back and look at the reason why you started your business. What's your purpose for having your business? If it's just a hobby and you just want to sell some trinkets here and there, friends, family, things of that nature, that's just your hobby. But when you start taking it seriously as a business, you get that business entity in place, then you're going to be able to protect your family. That's my biggest message here. You need to protect your personal family, your assets, your credit, and be able to grow your business properly. So some of the easiest ways to do it, there's 3 different ways that you can actually start to do this. The first one is if you already have a business relationship with your local bank, you have your business entity set up. The second thing that you do, and this is in my free guide that you'll get later, you want to start that business checking account. So once you have your business checking account set up, I would give it a few months, let some monies go through that account, and then go back to your bank branch manager and say to them, I would like a business credit card done in the name of my business using my EIN, not my social security number. And it's important how you ask that question to them, because sure, they'll give you a business credit card. And usually when I'm speaking at different events, the very first thing I ask people is, how many people in the room have a business credit card for their business? Almost everybody raises their hand. And unfortunately, as the conversation continues, they realize it was just a credit card that was issued to them based on their social security number, shows up on their personal credit report, and they're using it for their business. It's 2 separate things.
Oh, that is
there's a big takeaway there.
Well, yeah, because everybody thinks that just because it has the business name on it, that's business credit, and it's not business credit. It's based on their personal credit. So I have another question about that.
Sure.
Because I've made that same mistake in the past as well.
We all have.
So what I'm wondering is, okay, so I'm opening up this business checking account, letting some money flow through that account, and, you know, doing business with the bank. And I go back to the bank and I ask them to issue me a business credit card for my business, using my EIN number, not my social security number. So even if I don't have any business credit set up, just the fact that I've been doing business with the bank and I ask for it like that, there's still a possibility that I can get approved for that.
Yes, this is the first way that I tell all my clients to do it. There's numerous other ways, but this is the first easiest way because you've already developed that relationship with either your branch manager or your business manager in that particular bank. And when you set up your checking account, here's another takeaway. When you set up your checking account, they need to see your EIN number. When you first get incorporated, you get that piece of paper that shows your EIN with your state, and they need to see your articles of incorporation and your operating agreement. Those are the same things they will need to open up a business credit card. So once you have that established initially, they should have those documents, but if they don't, take them back to the bank with you 3 months later after you open that checking account and say, okay, I'm ready for a business credit card in the name of my business.
Well, I know I'm going to be watching this talk again. I'm wanting to like take notes, but I'm saying, oh, I'm hosting. So I got to come back and get this information. So let me see, what else did I have here for you? Oh, this is a good question. Can someone transfer the personal credit they use for business to their business credit, and how would they go about doing that?
Absolutely. I had a client who, it wasn't our intention to raise her FICO credit score on her personal side, but it happened within, we opened up business credit cards for her, and she transferred personal cards over to the business because she had it documented that she was using this for business purposes, easy to do. And we raised her credit score within, I think it was 45 days to 74 points.
Wow.
That was not our original intention, but that happened, and she was even happier than she was before. She was able to get the business credit cards just to use for her business purposes now. And the second biggest reasons you want to do that is when you go to file your taxes. Do not commingle your funds with your personal checking account. Get that checking account opened. Now get that business credit card opened. And now you're able to have everything. Your bookkeeper, accountant will love you for this because you'll keep everything separate and you are not commingling your funds.
Yes,
which again, as a sole proprietor, exactly.
Oh, they're wonderful. So lifesavers, I call them. So man, this is so important, and people really need to hear this. And I will encourage everybody. I'm going to tell you a little bit later when we're getting ready to wrap up about how you can upgrade to VIP for this summit. But when you upgrade to VIP, you get recording of the replays for this event. Now, all of our speakers are fantastic speakers, but this is the nuts and bolts of business. And this is a talk. You're going to want to hear it again. I know I want to hear it again. So I'm upgrading to VIP. Well, I have access to all of the talks, but I would definitely, recommend it. It's
absolutely.
Just this information alone is worth it. And it's the kind of thing where, you're giving us good information, but, truth be told, it's the kind of thing that, you need to hear it again and again. You need to explore it further. People have more questions because, you're giving us, the basics, but there's just so much more to it. And, that's why you're the credit gal. so you're my go-to gal for business credit.
Well, Dee, one of the things I wanted to point out to you, and my company is called Credit Know-How because I want people to know how to understand their credit. That's how we came up with the name for the company years ago. And
good name.
A lot of people don't realize there are, I'd say 98% of entrepreneurs don't even know business credit exists because we are, and I started out this way too until I learned all this. We're using our personal credit because that's what we have available to us. We are mortgaging our homes. We're taking out 401k money because we're so passionate about the businesses that we want to have that we're going to get the money and we're going to do it. There's other ways to get the funding. And that's the other thing that I teach and my company is all about. When you have business credit established, now you have 10 to 50 times more capability of getting financing to be able to grow that business to the point that you want to grow it to. And that's the biggest reason for having business credit.
Yes.
Getting
that's
funding.
Power, that's leverage,
It is.
And I mean, you have resources. Is it possible with business credit to get pretty good rates, interest rates?
Absolutely, absolutely.
Mm-hmm.
There's when you're establishing credit in the name of your business, the underwriting process that happens, and this is where my free guide is going to help you. The underwriting process, there are certain pieces of the puzzle you have to have in place about your business. That very first one was your EIN number.
Mm-hmm.
The second one is getting that checking account. In the underwriting process, to be able to get financing, funding, or credit cards for your business, they don't believe that your business started until you opened up that checking account. Now, I got to tell you, I too did not do that properly. I was
Mm-hmm.
commingling my funds.
Mm-hmm.
And it wasn't until 3 years later, after I started my business, that I opened up a checking account in the name of the business. So I lost 3 years for underwriting guidelines.
Yeah,
So
and you know what? I was just
so
going to say,
important.
it's not as hard as people think. And I
No.
think that's what people, put things off because they don't know exactly what to do. They don't know how to do it.
Right.
And that's where you simplify things and let them know it's not as hard as you may think. It's a lot
Exactly.
easier.
Step by step. I'm a step-by-step kind of gal.
So then, like when you go and get that first business credit card issued to your business in your business name under your EIN, not your social security number, from your business checking account, at your bank or whatever.
Right.
So once you get that, then you can start using that, make on-time payments with that, and then that will further help build your business credit so that you can get business credit in other areas as well.
It's a starting point. So in the personal world, there's 3 credit reporting agencies. Most people know who they are, what they're all about. In the business world, there are also 3, and the biggest one is Dun & Bradstreet. Most business owners have heard of Dun & Bradstreet, and the other 2 are Experian and Equifax. So in order for you to build credit in the name of your business, we already talked about the one strategy, just going to your bank because you already have that relationship, getting that business credit card. The second part is now it has to start reporting to a credit reporting agency. It's not going to happen automatically. You need to establish, and this is the third piece of the puzzle here. We talked about get the EIN, get the checking account. Now you have to get what's called a DUNS number. And that just stands for Data Universal Numbering System. And that's the number that's assigned to your business through Dun & Bradstreet. Now, Dun & Bradstreet is the #1 business credit reporting agency in the world, not just in the States, but in the world. So you need to apply for a DUNS number. It's free to apply. Everybody on this call, after they're done listening to the summit, you can go to dunandbradstreet.com and just apply. It is free. Don't pay anything.
Okay, but then there's some other tricks. Do you show people how to, once they get that free DUNS number, how to start building up credit under that number? Because you just have it, but then you need to build credit under it, right?
Yes, so now I'm going to give you another takeaway, another tip.
Okay.
So in order to start building that credit profile, that business credit report, you need to establish what's called trade lines or vendor credit. So most of us, I'm in my home office, most of us have supplies that we need for our office. So you can start establishing a vendor account, which all that means is you're purchasing something from a supply company and you have a net terms to pay it back. Most of it is a net 30 days. So you're opening it in the name of your business using your EIN, and you're buying, whether it's paper supplies, pens, whatever you need, and then you're paying that back within the 30 days. And then that reports to the credit reporting agencies, and you start to develop your business credit profile.
Okay, so what kind of companies are we setting these?
So Uline, ULINE.com is one of them. Quill, QUILL.com.
What is Uline?
Uline and Quill are both office supply companies.
Okay.
They're all online. I know States, but I believe they're in Canada also, and probably in Europe. They should be in Europe. It's all online based. And you just start purchasing from them. That you have to have that DUNS number. You have to have your EIN number before you can even apply for any of that.
Okay. All right. Sounds
I'm giving a
good.
lot of takeaways here.
Yeah, man. Yeah, I'm super excited. I'm like, I wanna kind of like leave the call and just go out and start some accounts and, and do some stuff right now. But
But
I
do
have
it
to.
in the right order.
Absolutely.
EIN, checking account, DUNS number. Those are the three most important things. And then get to your bank and ask them about opening a business credit card 3 months after you've been doing things with your checking account. They just want to see the traffic, what's coming in money-wise, what's going out money-wise.
Okay. So before you apply for the business credit card, you should have your DUNS number also. That's the third step.
No, your business credit, no, your EIN, your checking account,
EIN checking account.
and then go back to your bank in 3 months and ask them for a business credit card because you've already been using the checking account. They can see the movement of what's happening. And then the third thing is get your DUNS number, DUNS, and that is through dunandbradstreet.com.
Yes. Okay. So I have a big question. I don't know if anybody's thought of that, but some people, I know I do, I have multiple business entities. So like if someone has multiple business entities, how do they affect each other?
Great question. Every single business entity is separate from every other one. So you need to establish your checking account for each one, and you need to establish your business credit for each one. Just like an individual, like my husband and I can't go out and use my husband's social security number to apply for credit. I have to use my own.
Right.
Same with your business entity. You have 3 business EINs, your employee identification numbers. You have to get 3 different business credit.
Okay.
Make sense?
Yes. I'll be calling you later.
You've got my contact.
I have more questions. But I'm not gonna. You're giving so much, just right now on this live broadcast. But there's so much more that I know you have to give. And we want to give you a lot of value, and we're really glad for everybody who's tuning in. But we can't give away the farm, okay? We got to keep a couple of little morsels for ourselves. So let me see here. So how can business owners know that their EIN is not being misused?
So that's where you want to have a monitoring service. And I personally use nav.com, NAV.com. They're a service where you can get both your personal and your business credit reports and view them. And they put a monitoring service, I believe it's like $25 a month, that if your EIN, if somebody's trying to use your EIN, you'll get the alert, just like if somebody tries to use your social, you'll get an alert.
It's kind of like identity theft, but on the business side.
Right.
Like people, if somebody gets a hold of your EIN, they might start trying to apply for credit and stuff. That number.
Exactly.
So you have the way to fix that is by having the monitoring service.
Yeah, and we offer that throughout my program. We offer all of those things. So people, same within the personal side, we want to make sure people take care of their personal world. And you know how much identity theft is out there with people going crazy with your social. We make sure we monitor that, and we monitor your business credit also. And here's a question, I don't know if somebody's asked it. How do I even know if I have business credit established yet?
So how do you know?
Some people, they've been in business for a long time and they don't even know if they have a business credit report. So you can go to Dun & Bradstreet, you can go to Equifax, and you can go to Experian, and you can look it up. You put your name in there, your business name, and it'll let you know whether you even have any type of a credit score.
I'm learning something, because I knew that Dun & Bradstreet did business credit reporting, but I didn't realize that Equifax, and did you say Experian?
Equifax. So in the personal side, it's TransUnion, Experian, and Equifax.
Okay.
And on the business side, it's Dun & Bradstreet, Experian Business, and Equifax Business.
Oh, okay. Woo. Well, you can't teach an old dog new tricks. How about that?
Well, love it. I love it. The most important thing here is that we start our businesses and we love what we do. We're passionate about the work that we do for the world and what we bring, what our services are. And sometimes we don't think about the actual running of the business. What are some of the pieces of the puzzle that have to be put in place? So for me, it's like a 3-part thing. First, you look at your business and you have all these different things, why you do your business, who you serve, who your target audience is, and all of those components. And then you have to look at the legal aspects of your business. And then you have to look at the credit of your business.
Mm-hmm.
And you're working all three of those simultaneously. And sometimes, unless you're like I said earlier, a sole proprietor and you're just doing it as a hobby, it's just something that you enjoy every once in a while, that's fine. But once you start getting into the world of business, you need to understand those components.
Yes. So, I want to ask you, I don't know if you know this or not. I mean, I'm sure you probably do, but I mean, this is kind of random.
Sure.
But like, I get all these phone calls saying you've been pre-approved, your business has been pre-approved for like $150,000 or up to $300,000. Is that real, or are those scams?
Great question.
Or what
Great
is that?
question.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so in my business, I do funding for people also. I pre-qualify people for financing and funding and credit cards. So there are a lot of companies out there, and they will solicit. That's part of their marketing. We're all in business, so we know about marketing. Mm-hmm. They will send these things out to you, and they're great if you know the questions to ask them to make sure you're getting what you need. What I would caution people on, whenever they ask for your social security number, hang up the phone. Mm-hmm. Do not fill out the application, because business credit can be built in the name of the business. It's the business's sole purpose of paying that bill back, not the business owner. So your business credit it's based on whether the business is able to pay back, not the business owner, which is totally different in the personal world.
Mm-hmm. Absolutely.
So they're good offers. You want to call, you want to find out what the particulars are, but as soon as they ask, and most will, as soon as they ask for that social, say, oh, thank you, but this is not what they need.
Yeah.
Because it's the credit in the name of the business is what we want to build.
Right. So I'm so glad that we had this talk.
Me too.
Like I get so many of those calls, and they leave me voice messages, and I haven't called any of them back. I mean, it sounds really attractive, but honestly, first of all, I didn't know if it was legit. Second of all, thank you for the tip on being able to identify whether or not it's legit. Right. And I didn't know what questions to ask them. I didn't know what to do. Right. So speaking of that, I know that, you have training and you have coaching and you show people how to navigate through these things. Do you also have like done for you type programs where?
I actually do. It's a done with you program, because you get me as your coach. And it's a 6-month program that I won't go into all the depths of it, but it pretty much walks you through from the very beginning and making sure your business is established to be able to get funding. Making sure you have those components. I call them the 10-point checklist. Making sure you, first of all, I gave you 3. You have your entity set up. You have your business checking account, and you have your DUNS number. Those are the 3 pieces of the puzzle that need to be in place before you can get anywhere into looking at getting funded or getting established business credit cards, other than going to your local bank. Now,
go ahead.
Now, and you, like I said, you work with me for 6 months, and we get it all done, and we're able to get people hundreds of thousands of dollars if that's what they're looking for. Depends on where they are in their business and what their needs are.
Mm-hmm. Well, after you've been like holding my hand and stuff and taking long walks in the park with me for 6 months, like,
love it.
What do I do? Are you gonna make me leave the nest? Am I gonna have separation anxiety, or?
No, I have an ongoing mastermind program that people can stay connected with me throughout their journey, their business journey, so that if they have any questions, I'm a phone call away. I'm an email and phone call away.
You're doing masterminds, huh? Oh,
yeah. I'm just so passionate, because I didn't know all this stuff. Mm-hmm. My background is 42 years of retail. It's like, what am I doing in the world of credit? Mm-hmm. So for me, it all started with a personal credit hiccup in my life. I graduated from Bankruptcy School 101. Mm-hmm. And then I had to figure out how to recover. And within a year I did. And then I said, okay, I need to start a business, because I was helping so many people with their personal credit. They were like, Eileen, you need to do a business because you're giving it all away for free. So that's where the business credit world started with me. And I've been doing this over 10 years. And it's just been a blessing And when I talk to entrepreneurs, because I speak on many stages now, and they just don't even know it exists. And that kind of breaks my heart, because I don't want people to make the same mistake that I made.
Right. And that's why you have such a passion for it.
I do.
Because and I heard you the first time I met you. I saw you at an event, and I heard you speak from stage, and I was just like, wow, because I've dabbled in business credit throughout the years, but I never went, the whole 9 yards. I never had all the pieces in place. And when I heard you, I was like, I need her. So, so even when that's why, I had you on the summit, and even my new book that I just released, Muscle Memory Millionaire,
I love it.
The Hidden Secret to Automating Your Success. I put some information about you, your pictures in there, and I put some contact information, because I know that it's a part of success to be able to have the information that you provide, and the services that you provide, and the coaching, and the masterminding. And so I want for anybody who gets my book to further connect with Eileen through that, look for her section in the book as well.
I appreciate that. I'm on a mission.
Yes. Well, I'm on it with you. You're not going to be able to get rid of me. You're going to be like, I thought that D lady was nice, but I think she's kind of stalking me. No, I just need business credit. Okay. So I know you were telling us about, Dun and Bradstreet. So is there any more information that you can share about them, or what they do, or how they work?
So what I love about Dun and Bradstreet is that you can go on and get your Dun's number for free, excuse me. And but what I want to caution people on is they're going to want to sell you stuff after you do that. You don't need it. You just need your Dun's number.
I know, I'm still getting phone calls from
them. You will. Because
what do they try to sell you, packages to help build your business credit? Is that
exactly, exactly. Which is good. They're very pricey, but they're worth it, because for people who don't know how to do it, or you can call me and work with me, whichever way you want to do it. But there's so many things out there that people don't know to ask the questions of, to get the answers that they need. And that's one of my biggest things, is that I help people navigate that, even when they're applying for business credit cards. I'll have a client just text me, say, hey, I just got this offer. What do you think? And I'll say, send it over to me. Let me look at it. And if it's something that I don't think they should do, I will tell them why. If it's something I think they should do, then I will tell them, yes, go ahead.
Well, that is a service in itself. So what I'm going to do, we do have some more time, but I want to make sure that everybody knows how they can get started with you and how they can get this free gift. So I'm actually going to drop this link into the chat box. I want everyone to go here. Hold on, let's see here.
So is this the official business credit builder checklist that you're putting in?
Is that the creditgal.biz/OBC?
Yes.
Okay,
yes.
So I'm putting this in the chat right now, and tell us what this is. And this is a free gift.
This is my free ebook. It's the official business credit builder checklist. And as I said earlier, I'm a very linear, step-by-step kind of gal, because show me the facts. It's just like, show me the money. And I wrote this so that people could take it and go step-by-step and make sure that these are the underwriting components you want to have in place before you even apply, whether it's for business credit cards or funding. So these are the things the underwriters are looking for. And wouldn't it be better to apply for a business loan and know you're going to get approved, rather than apply, get denied, and then they tell you why? Let's get these things in place now, so that you have them. You've already gotten the top three, the EIN, the checking account, and the DUNS number. Now look at this guide and get the rest.
Absolutely. I've had enough rejection in my life. I don't need any more rejection.
I feel you.
I know. I'm done with rejection. It's so funny, because recently I was at a leadership conference, the Global Leadership Summit, and one of the speakers, he wrote a book called Rejection Proof. Have you seen that book?
Yes, I have. Yes, I have.
Oh, he was hilarious, but I mean, his story is, also very, very touching, but he goes around. But anyway, we'll talk about that later. But anyway, no more rejection. Rejection proof.
Before we go, I want to make sure that I point on one of the biggest reasons why it's so important to establish credit in the name of your business and get it off your personal credit. In the personal credit world, there's 5 big factors that determine what your personal credit score are.
Mm-hmm.
And you have to, it's kind of like juggling them around. You know, the first one is how much you spend of what you have available, how you pay your bills on time, what your mix of credit is,
Mm-hmm.
how often you've applied for credit. I mean, all these little things that you have to know. On the business credit side, there's only one factor that determines whether you have a good credit score or not in your business. And that is how you pay your bills. That's it.
Really? Wow.
That is it. And the business credit score goes from a 0 to 100, just like when we were in school, we got our grades. Anything above an 80 is excellent credit in the business world. And the way that you get an 80 score
Mm-hmm.
is to pay your bill on time. That's it.
Let me ask you a question.
Sure.
Is it possible for a person to have a fair or poor personal credit and have excellent business credit?
Yes, because business credit is built on the business's ability to pay. Personal
Wow,
credit
that's
is
amazing.
built on the person's
Mhm.
ability to pay.
You know, and it's kind of like a rebirth for some people.
Exactly.
Not only are you getting things in line, but you know, we all go through things, you know, and you may have had some unexpected things happen in your life. I don't know. Sometimes people, when they're still like employees, you know, there's been layoffs, companies downsize. There's a whole number of things, a sickness and illness, like with medical bills, just all different types of things that happen, divorce. And sometimes good people have bad credit. And I have to say this right now.
That's true.
This is so funny because I used to live in Houston, Texas, and they had this billboard. I don't know if it was for, I think it was for auto dealership, but it said, your credit isn't bad, it's just misunderstood. So
that's good.
and I
That
love
is
that. I
good.
will never forget that. But anyway, sometimes you have really great people that didn't just not pay their bills intentionally or ruin their credit on purpose, but something happened and they might be rebuilding their credit. And that's a whole other thing. Because do you do credit?
I do. When the very first thing, the very first conversation I have with someone is I pull your credit report, your personal credit report, because I need to see where you are and where you want to get to. And we use that as a gauge sometimes in the business world also for getting business credit, because we want to make sure that people get to where they want to get to. So when I do a credit analysis for someone on their personal credit and I see that their score is 550, I can see what can happen to raise that score. And then we work on that. Simultaneously, we're also working on building their business credit. And that's where those trade lines come in. Because if you go to your bank and they say, no, we can't give you a business credit card, you're not in business long enough for whatever reason, that's when you go to the trade accounts. That's when you start building up those vendor trade accounts so that you can next go in to get store credit cards. Next, you can go in to get Visa, MasterCard, and American Express credit cards. There is a step-by-step process to make this happen.
Okay. Order me one of those American Express black cards. I'll take.
You got it.
I'll take one.
I'm with you on that.
Okay. So also, before we go, we still have about 5 to 6 minutes, but I want you to tell us, because we talked about upgrading to VIP earlier. And so Eileen has a very special gift for our VIPs. And I believe you said it is a 1 hour
you have a 1 hour
with
yep.
you. Yeah,
so,
tell us about that.
So what we'll do in that 1 hour, I will have you pull your credit report. It's not considered what they call a hard pull. It doesn't go against your credit score. It's any person any individual can pull their own personal credit report and it doesn't count against your score. And keeping that in mind, every single person, every 12 months has free access to their credit reports by going to annualcreditreport.com. That is free to you. You don't pay for it. You can get all 3 of your reports and view them. And I strongly advise people to do that every single year. I do it on my birthday every year just to keep up. I'm on a monitoring service also, but I still want to see what those reports say. Having said all of that, people charge me $500 to be able to do this analysis for them, and they work with me for 3 months. I am gifting this to your VIP VIP attendees.
Woohoo!
It is a very good starting point for them.
That's awesome. Thank you so much. That's very gracious of you. I'll be taking advantage of that.
Wonderful.
I don't mind if I do. And so do you have any speaking engagements coming up anytime soon?
I have, starting this Thursday, I will be going to Atlanta I will be going to Atlanta, and then from Atlanta, I am going to Reno, Nevada, and then from Reno, Nevada, I come home for a week, and then I go to Phoenix for 2 events. So I have 4 events coming up. What Women Want is in Atlanta, and in Reno, it's my personal coaches event that I speak at.
Oh, okay.
Yes, and then when I go to Phoenix, I have an event called Off Wall Street Assets. And then Jane M. Powers, I will be at her event in Phoenix also. Yes.
She was on right before you.
I know. She's also a personal mentor.
Love me some Jane. Yes. So what's the name of your event in Reno?
So in Reno, it's I'm a part of Laurel Langmeyer's Big Table.
Okay.
And it's where her new attendees come, because I'm part of the expert panel for Laurel's team.
Oh,
and,
wow.
Yeah, so I speak at as many of her events. And then same thing in Phoenix, I have 2 events at the same week. So Laurel has an event called Off Wall Street Assets, which is open to the public. And then Jane's event, Let's Talk Impact.
Okay, see, I told you guys that I was bringing some experts to the table here. We won't
even go into where I'm going to be in December. I travel a lot.
Yeah, I hear. I like to travel a lot myself too, and I know that you're getting all those wonderful business deductions because you have your stuff set up right.
It's all a write-off.
So Eileen, thank you again so much for being here. Make sure you go to the chat box and get the free gift for everyone who has attended today. For those of you who have upgraded to VIP, or if you upgrade to VIP even after this talk, because you're going to want to listen to this talk again and again, we have that $500 value, that 60-minute, the full 1-hour evaluation session with Eileen. That is, it's worth way more than $500, but that's awesome. So we want you to have that. And again, thank you everyone for being here. We want you to tune into our next talk, which is going to happen in about 18 minutes. And that is going to be with Jenny Harkleroad.
I love me some Jenny.
I love me some Jenny too. As a matter of fact, I attended her last event, and I couldn't even attend the entire event, but I just flew out there for like a day and a half of the event.
And it was worth every second.
Oh my goodness. It was totally, I have no words, but I'll say, if I find some words, I'll save them for her talk. But she's going to be talking to us about the 3 secrets to creating ultimate success. This woman is absolutely amazing, absolutely incredible. She has an incredible story. You don't want to miss this talk. I mean, I know if anybody has been with us from this morning, you might be ready to take a break. I'm going to tell you, just hang on in there just a little while longer, because we will break for lunch at noon. I mean, what time is it?
I'm on the East Coast.
Oh, I'm looking at the screen share, and I said, what happened? I lost 2 hours. Okay. So anyway, so Jenny's going to be on at 11 a.m. Pacific, and she is going to share some super amazing things with you that is going to help skyrocket your success, that's going to help give you some mind shift, and I just can't wait to talk to her. She's my friend. She calls me her friend. Almost every single time, like, she contacts me, she calls me her friend. So super excited about that. Please join us. Don't forget to grab your free gifts, upgrade to VIP. I'm Dee Collins, and this is the Monumental Monetization Masterclass. And we have several more great speakers to come, including Jenny, but even after her. So I hope you can stay on for the rest of the day with us. I'll see you next time. Thank you,
Bye,
Eileen.
Dee. Thank
Bye.
you.
Take care, everybody.